Welcome back, everybody. Can't wait to get into today's show. Every single day, a brand new topic, all things wellness, weight loss, weight gain, anti-aging, high performance health. That's what we're all about on the Cabral Concept. Today, I want to talk to you about one specific vitamin mixed with one specific mineral, clinically proven to decrease stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. And now they're finding, finally, again, we've known this in naturopathy for many, many decades, but they're finally figuring out that when you combine them together, you get an exponential effect. That means 1 + 1 doesn't equal just 2, it equals 4. You get so much more benefit from taking these both together. I'm going to give you the specific milligrams, how much to take. Easy to find, easy to take. I know you're going to love this one. So, it's one of those things you have to understand is that when we look at a lot of individuals, some people seem to always be so cool, calm, and collected. Under stress, they don't seem to crack, that they're not necessarily, breaking every time a new crisis seems to arise, right? Or everything seems like a crisis. One of the issues that we have to really look at is that it goes back to what we talk about in integrative health and at-home functional medicine lab testing is that many people have deficiencies and toxicities. We're not going to dive too deep into the toxicities today, like the gut-based issues or the mold mycotoxins, the parasites, even heavy metals. What I want to speak about today is deficiencies. There's two deficiencies that seems to be rampant as people become, I would say, really into the later 20s, early 30s. Unfortunately, I did not learn this until age 27. My deficiency started, though, as a teenager. I burned through these reserves at a much younger age, and unfortunately, because of my poor diet, they were being depleted even faster. So that which I took in was still being depleted even at a faster rate. So what I want to do is get to these two right now and actually share with you the research. The first one, no doubt about it, you've heard about it, you know about it, because for over a decade now, probably 20 years, it's been like the panacea people talk about in terms of stress and anxiety. Why? Because it works. Bottom line is it works, and that's magnesium. So why is magnesium so popular? Well, a lot of people just say, oh, take magnesium. But I want to share with you why it works. Now, it has, as they say, over not just 300, people quote 300, over 600 different ways in which it enzymatically helps in the body to create different processes. But the main one that we talk about is its ability to regulate the nervous system, specifically in fight or flight. So we have the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. We have the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and relax, digest and repair, right? Okay. And over pushing on one side, so this fight or flight, we've got calcium, we've got cortisol, we have norepinephrine, we've got all sorts of different things that happens in this channel, right? Sodium, increased blood pressure, get the body pumped up and ready, right, to fight or run. All right, on the other side, what do we have? We have potassium, we've got GABA, we have serotonin. Those are the calming neurotransmitters, right? GABA and serotonin. And then on the other side, the fight or flight, we've got norepinephrine and dopamine, adrenaline. We'll talk about those in a moment. But we also have magnesium, right? Magnesium helps then to counter the sympathetic nervous system in fight or flight. So you take magnesium and it literally helps to short circuit stress in fight or flight. Great. But it's not the only thing, right? So it's like, oh, you just, even like a lot of functional medicine doctors, just take some magnesium. Well, have you run a minerals and metals test, a hair tissue mineral analysis? Have you looked at your different imbalances? Because that may not be the answer, because some people just get exhausted, they have brain fog, and they get heart palpitations if they just take high dosages of magnesium without any of the other special electrolytes that they may need. So, it's important to look at that. But magnesium absolutely does work, and I'm going to give you the standard dosage that most people will do well with. Again, I can't give you medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis here on the show, but I can tell you for sure that this is a good dosage that most people do pretty well. Maybe not for you, but most people. All right. So what's this other? That was our mineral, right? So magnesium's a mineral, balances calcium. So here's the other one, though. And I didn't learn about this really until 27 when I met my mentor, Dr. Pete. And this was a game changer for my body. It's called vitamin B6, paradoxal 5-phosphate, P5P. And why it is so powerful is that it's crucial for synthesizing neurotransmitters like GABA and serotonin. So for a lot of people, they are in the go, 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 and they feel the, pressure on them, and they're always stressed and they don't sleep very well. Well, that was me. Literally, that was me all through my younger years, teenage years, and young adulthood. There's no doubt about that. And what I realized was I was wildly deficient in B vitamins. Now, doctors before had been giving me B12. They had given me folate, but it wasn't what I was necessarily missing. The body does well with the entire B complex, but in that B complex is vitamin B6. And oftentimes vitamin B6 in most multivitamins is like 3 milligrams, 5 milligrams, not the dosage that you need for a clinical effect. And the more stressed you are, the more you need. Now, there's an upper limit. You really don't want to go above 100 to 150 milligrams for most people unless you're under supervision of vitamin B6. But that would be a big dosage. Most people are going to use, and I'll give you the exact dose, 25 to 50 milligrams per day. And it seems to be the sweet spot for most people. Here's the thing, though. Without B6, not only does your body not produce the happy neurotransmitter serotonin, it's not going to then be able to produce melatonin. So it affects your sleep because everything moves and flows downhill. And so it goes from tryptophan to 5-hydroxytryptophan to serotonin to melatonin. You have sleep issues? Well, could be serotonin, could be 5-HTP, right? Could be vitamin B6. Very important that we look at that. All right. Now, the other part, though, is GABA. So if serotonin is the happy, feel-good neurotransmitter, GABA is the anti-anxiety. And we need B6, we actually need copper and a few others, in order to be able to transform glutamic acid to GABA. And without that, we can actually end up with neurological issues. And as kids, we can have outbursts and tics and all sorts of behavioral-based issues, even if a child isn't getting enough B vitamins. Now, they don't need the same dosage as an adult, but certainly a child's body needs these as well. Vitally, vitally important. And a child can take one capsule of something like a daily activated multi versus all four, right? So even as a child, you can still take some. This is important to look at this because I wish I had this information when I was younger. Now, here's what these studies just came out with, and this is actually published in the Clinical Applications of Scientific Innovation. I'll give you the specific journals and entries there, and that will be at stephencabral.com/3378. So for anybody who likes to dive a little bit deeper, amazing. But I'm going to share with you right now. I've already gone over how B6 works, and I've gone over how magnesium works. But they did a study, and this study was interesting. And they looked at a clinical trial. It was 264 participants with moderate to severe stress levels. They found that an 8-week supplementation program of just these two things, 300 milligrams of magnesium and 30 milligrams of B6 daily as pyridoxal 5-phosphate, led to greater stress reduction compared to magnesium alone. So you've got the control, nothing. You've got magnesium, and then you've got magnesium and vitamin B6. Here's the amazing thing. Magnesium is a fantastic nutritional supplement, but it's not the end-all be-all. There is no one vitamin or mineral that's the end-all be-all. If a practitioner ever gives you a single vitamin or mineral and just say, just take this, everything's going to be fine. Start to just say thank you. Appreciate the advice. This has been great. Seek advice elsewhere. There is no single bullet approach that will never solve a lot of the underlying root causes, even what I'm sharing with you here today. This is great clinical research. We know that it works. This is a stack of 300 milligrams of magnesium, which is a great dosage. Most adults can do really well with somewhere between 250 and 300 milligrams. That's it. It's a great place to start, typically at dinner, because you want to turn off the sympathetic nervous system at night. Now, there's other great things to use as well. Ashwagandha, phosphoserine, L-theanine. We use these in a product called Adrenal Soothe. It's a great one to add as well at dinner. But again, 2 capsules at dinner. Choose if it's the right way for you. But your B vitamins, you would take earlier in the day. And you would take them at breakfast and lunch, maybe even 1 capsule at dinner. But most people are using, let's just say something like the Daily Nutritional Support or Daily Activated Multi. You can take Daily Activated Multi, 2 capsules at breakfast, 2 at dinner. Your favorite Activated Multi would be fine from your favorite functional medicine practitioner, but you need to make sure that it has a dosage of at least 25 milligrams of vitamin B6. And if it doesn't, it's okay. You just add another product called Activated B Complex, and you can take 1 capsule at lunch and 1 at dinner if you choose to, besides your multi in the morning. So this, though, right here, although very simple, will get you clinically and tangible results. So clinical results showing that it does work. Tangible results that you feel it, that you literally feel it. Now, remember, when you go to the de-stress protocol that I write about in the Rain Barrel Effect, it's diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotional-based balance, scientifically backed supplements, and success mindset. I'm talking about here today supplements, right? That's only one part. So don't get me wrong. You want to work on the lifestyle as well. But I'll tell you from personal experience that it's really hard to fall asleep if you've got real sleep-based issues. You can't just will yourself to sleep. You can't meditate yourself to sleep. It just doesn't work for the majority of people. You need to fix what's broken. I was a complete insomniac, not a little insomniac, not occasional insomnia, complete insomniac, all through my teens, or in really from the age I can remember, around 7, 8 years old, through my 20s, completely through my 20s. And it was brutal. And it's very difficult to be a happy human being without sleep. I'm talking like 3-4 hours a night and waking up groggy in the morning from your sleep cycle. It took me 3 to 4 hours minimum to fall asleep at night. Sometimes I just wouldn't go to bed. It was that bad. Had to turn when I was younger to Benadryl and antihistamines to fall asleep, and then take things like Sudafed to wake up in the morning. It was a miserable existence. It really was. So nutritional supplements, here's what they can do. They can quickly get you towards your goals. They can quickly help to reduce stress. And you can use other things like liquid melatonin or so, and the magnesium I talked about, the adrenal soothe to fall asleep. Great. Now you're getting sleep. Then you can say, now I can start some walking. Now I can start to eat better, right? So it's like supplements are not the end all be all, but they are a catalyst to healing. And it speeds up the process. That is why I've recommended them. And I just feel that, truthfully, running a practice that's seen well over 300,000 people one-on-one, be difficult for most people to heal without a little bit. That's the truth. Now, not the end all be all, but part of the 8 parts of the de-stress protocol, and it can be the catalyst to get that body and mind in the right spot. So hopefully today was helpful. Use your B vitamins, use your magnesium. There is no one end all. There is no one product end all be all. You can find out exactly what we use for full spectrum magnesium, which is literally the best of the best, clinically formulated, actually used in clinical practice, and the activated B complex, as well as the activated multivitamin or daily nutritional support at stevencabral.com/shop. That will take you over to Equalife. And again, you can just use that as a informational ground. If you want to purchase from another company, amazing. And you can just check out exactly the ingredients we use, what I recommend, and what, most importantly, what we see work in the real world. All right, everybody, hopefully this was helpful. Do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.